Hey, how's it going, everyone? Today we've got a 7-star character review of Lloyd. Lloyd is one of the best characters in the game, and he has had quite the history in LEGO Legacy. Currently, he is a really good unit, but for a long time, he was the best unit in the entire game. He was absolutely broken to the point where you could beat teams that had at least 40,000 more awesomeness than yours just by using Lloyd. There are some hilarious screenshots of beating these super high-powered teams just because of how strong Lloyd was. Now, because he was so broken, he did get a somewhat substantial nerf, but he's still a top tier character. Originally, his second special would give all allies on your team stealth for 3 turns, and then he would gain dodge up 2 for 3 turns as well. And this was before the dodge stat got nerfed, so this is when it was still really high. So basically, he would use this ability, and then for 3 turns, the enemies could just not hit your team, because almost every attack against Lloyd would be dodged, and then even if he was damaged, you could just heal him right back up. And if you were running a team with Jester, Lloyd, and Aurora, it was almost unbeatable. Now he has been nerfed, so he will now only grant stealth for 2 turns on that ability, and he no longer gains that dodge up 2. Now, you can get both of those things back with Master Wu. He has an ability that will increase the duration of stealth on your allies by 1 turn, and if you use those abilities correctly, it is essentially a 3-turn stealth ability. And also, Wu can give Lloyd that dodge up 2, but now the stat has largely been nerfed, and there are a lot more buff dispellers in the game, so it's no longer as big of a problem. It's still very difficult to take down Lloyd, but if you have some large damage dealers like Redbeard, Kai, Jay, some of those kinds of characters, you should be able to get through him without too much trouble. Also, a stun could be helpful as well to prevent him using his heal ability right here, which will heal himself for 20% of his max health. And he actually has quite a bit of max health. At 7 stars, he's going to have 14,633 max health. However, with his passive ability right here, that will be increased to around 17,000. I think it's somewhere in the range of 17,500. So that's quite nice. His heals are going to be really solid. And then he also does some damage here. And then right here at the bottom, if Lloyd had dodge up 2, which he can get from Master Wu, all heroes with heal over time will heal for 10% of their max health. And Master Wu can also give that heal over time, so that means that Lloyd can actually have a little Aoe Heal as well. And also, going back to his passive for a moment, at the bottom here it also says at the end of his turn, Lloyd will have a 50% chance to grant dodge up 1 for 2 turns to the hero with the lowest health, and it's a plus 20% bonus chance if the hero is Ninjago, and that doesn't affect Lloyd. So even though he can no longer give dodge to himself, he can now actually give it to all of his allies, specifically the one with the lowest amount of health, which will be quite useful. And again, like I mentioned earlier, the dodge status effect has been nerfed, so it's no longer as crazy as it once was, but it will still help. Personally, I would prefer if dodge was nerfed even more than it was, but that's a whole another discussion. And then his basic attack can actually apply dodge down, which will help you, your attacks not be dodged, which is always appreciated. And if this ability is a critical hit, it will also inflict clumsy on them, and clumsy means that they will miss their next attack. As far as his other stats go, his attack number is pretty low, but that's not really why he's here anyway. He's not here for damage. His defense stat is actually pretty high. It's in the higher range, not exactly quite as crazy as Scarlet with her like 1200 defense or something, but 500 is still quite a bit, and way better than Jester, who I think has like 7 defense or something super low. His speed, you've probably noticed, is very high. He's one of the fastest characters in the entire game. He will go before most other units, although there are a few that are a bit faster, but generally you should be able to go pretty early and use this stealth ability before the other team goes, and you should be able to protect your allies by using that ability. His other stats are pretty standard, and his dodge is now 18. I believe it used to be 28, and that plus the non-nerf dodge up 2 status effect was absolutely insane, as you can imagine. But he still is quite a good unit. He has the Ninjago tag, so of course he's going to be great with the Ninjago team. Personally, I think that he is really going to shine if you run him with Master Wu, although Wu is kind of hard to unlock. So if you don't have him, Lloyd in a team of 5, Lloyd, Kai, Jay, Zane, and Nia, can still be pretty effective. Not quite as good if you had Master Wu in there instead of Nia, but it still will be decent, especially if you have one of the 2 Ninjago sets, but those are slow farms as well. Speaking of slow farms, Lloyd is an arena store farm right here, so he's going to be a pretty slow one, and actually I personally don't recommend that you go for him early on as a new player. If you're new to LEGO Legacy, I recommend that you start farming Valiant early on and get him to 5 or 6 stars for a lot of different reasons, but I don't think you should go for Lloyd early on, even if you are just a huge Ninjago fan, because to unlock Master Wu, one of the main Ninjago units, you need pirates at least 5, 6, 7 stars. So you're going to need to farm up Valiant anyway just to get Master Wu, and if you do get your pirates to that level, you'll be able to do a lot better in the gold event, which will just help your overall progression and help you reach your goal of maxing Ninjago quicker anyway. So even if you are a huge fan of Ninjago, I'd still say go for Valiant first, and then worry about Lloyd. Because pirates are very helpful, and they do help you unlock Master Wu. But yeah, Lloyd is a really fantastic unit for Arena. He is still used pretty often, not as much as he once was, but I have pretty much been using him in my Arena team since the day I unlocked him, like 6 months ago or whatever it was, and I've been able to get to first in Arena without too much trouble with this team. Personally, I really like Lloyd against pirates because he completely prevents Redbeard's counterattacks when he gives stealth, because a unit under stealth cannot be counterattacked. So if you can prevent Redbeard's counterattacks, that will help you avoid a lot of damage and a lot of disarmed, which will be very helpful in beating a pirate team. And that can also work versus Castle as well, since sometimes they will be countering quite a bit and healing from those counters if Magisto is there with his passive. So that's just another reason that I like Lloyd for Arena. And of course, he's also going to be very good for campaigns and Brickspedition, especially if you pair him with Aurora. Those two are incredible together, and if you throw in another healer and then a couple attackers, you will be set to do quite well in those battles. Also, one other thing worth mentioning is he is not currently needed for any events. The Ninjago tag is not required for any events in LEGO Legacy. However, I think it's very likely that they will be soon. So overall, Lloyd is a really good unit, one of the top characters in the entire game. In my opinion, he's the second best tank right after Scarlet. That is debated, but personally I think that he is not quite as reliable and powerful as Scarlet. But nonetheless, he's still really good. However, I think you should prioritize farming Valiant first, at least to 5-6 stars, and then you can move on to Lloyd. So that is going to be it for this video. Let me know what character you want to see me do a 7-star review of next. Personally, I think Yeti would be a really fun one. He's one I want to do. Also, Kelvin would be fun. And hopefully, I'm going to be able to do one for Dwayne here very shortly. I'm just about 70 tiles away from 7 stars for him. But yeah, that is going to be it for this video. As always, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.